Welcome to this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. I am your host, founder, and executive director of Voices for Voices, Justin Allen Hayes. Thank you for joining us, whether you're listening or watching here in Northeast Ohio, across the state of Ohio, the United States, or in any of the 51 other countries and 500 cities across the world. Thanks for the support and tuning in. If you're able to, please give us a thumbs up on this episode, leave a comment, like, share, follow Voices for Voices. We're on all the major social media platforms, and as you know by now, besides Hudson Community Television, where this episode will be aired 5 times, starting with the premiere date of Wednesday at 4 p.m. when we get to the actual airing dates. So that's kind of the schedule. But then you can also, if you're on the subway, if you're going for a jog, mowing the grass, shoveling the snow, we got the earbuds in. You can find the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast, the very same content, whether you view it on a TV screen, a phone, or whether you're listening through the earbuds. So we're hitting 17 plus platforms overall. So there's really no way that you can't find Voices for Voices. So thank you, whether this is your first episode you're tuning into, or we're well into over 180 episodes by now, and we are going to hit overall by the end of 2025, 300 total between the episodes we do here in the studio as well as ones we do on location. We're going to be doing some on location coming up in the April-May timeframe. Don't want to give away where that's going to be, but it's not going to be here in the United States. It's going to be in another country. So we're very excited about that, and you've probably heard me talk a little bit about that in previous episodes. So this episode is a continuation of a previous episode where we are exploring what is commonly referred to here as the Citizen Circle here in Summit County in the state of Ohio. And the guests I have are the individuals who co-lead and really get the wheels turning, and so that when the Citizen Circle date does come, that there is a level of conformity a little bit to it. But as you probably heard on a previous episode, there is flexibility for walk-ins. And just like last year when I attended my first Citizen Circle meeting, what I had thought in my head, what an individual coming out of incarceration, we can not love the crime or the things that put them in that situation, but we can love them as a human being. And you will have gotten that from our previous episode as you're going to continue today. So we have, again, our 2 guests here in studio, the co-leaders, co-anchors of the Citizen Circle here in Summit County. We have Lisa Dolan and Shawn. Thank you for sticking around for our second episode.
Thank you for
having us again.
Yeah, I know you have some stats on the Citizen Circle.
Yes.
Would you care to share?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, Citizen Circle is once a month. We only do, though, 11 months out of the year, which is February through December. Mm-hmm. So Citizen Circle once a month, the second Thursday of each month. And we can see 8 to 10 people within about 4 hours or so. So in 2024, we ended up with, let me give you a quick lowdown. We had 80 justice-impacted individuals that actually attended. We usually schedule a little bit more, but for one reason or another, sometimes people are unable to attend. We had a total of 312 providers attend. Now that would be The circle is over 50 different providers, but that's saying within those 11 months. We have volunteers, we have people observe. I think the first time that you attended, when people reach out to Shawn or myself about the circle, I give them a brief, okay, here's what it's about, but I encourage you to come and observe the first time and come in person, because we do hybrid, but come in person, see what's going on, then decide if you want to be part of it. And that's generally, most people just are kind of awestruck when they see what really happens within that period of time. We have found that the most needed resources in 2024, our number one was bus passes and gas cards. A lot of our individuals do not have valid driver's license. They're working on it, things like that. We were able to distribute over 320 one-day bus passes, and we distributed 23 31-day bus passes. The 31-day ones we generally give to somebody who maybe has new employment. We want to, be able to get them so that they can get to and from work and get a paycheck or two before they have to kind of be responsible for it. Not to say that we won't give them more if need be. Employment was the second neatest barrier. Housing with rental assistance, number 3, which is really one of the toughest ones, and not just in Summit County, but pretty much across the board. Clothing and food. We distributed $3,900 worth of clothing. What we would normally do is give like a $100 gift card to a retail store. And then with the food, again, usually a $100 to a grocery store. We spent, another thing was hygiene products. We spent upwards of $850 on hygiene products, because we will give, when somebody comes to their Citizen Circle appointment, we will give them the hygiene products there. So, we're doing a lot with not a lot of money. We've learned to be thrifty on what we do have and figure out how to help the best that we can. So it's, 2024 was a good year, and you also witnessed this. People coming in are justice impacted individuals, and grown men in tears just because they did not know that, whether it's the tangible goods or just the support they're feeling, the love that they're feeling, just kind of like, wow. And we have somebody generally asks, were you expecting all this? And they're like, no.
Yeah, and I actually have a Summit County shout out, and that's not just the Summit County Citizen Circle shout out, but shout out to Summit County, because we have in Summit County so many resources that surround themselves around reentry, mental health, and addiction, and now we're working together and more silos than one, and we've experienced a uprising, individuals wanting to relocate from other counties to Summit County, particularly because the richness of the second chance resources.
I didn't no idea about that, and I think that is amazing, because we just think about in general where people relocate at a macro level. Oh, well, I'm going to relocate to Florida, and it, for one reason or another. And so to have justice impacted individuals in other counties in the state of Ohio, and maybe in different states, and then they hear about the circle, and that it helped somebody that they knew or continue to know, is huge. Can you just talk a little bit about, like, on an emotional side of things, besides like, okay, yep, that number is up, but how does that make you feel? Because, and I know you don't like titles and that about, like, okay, I don't do this, but I mean, just from being associated with the circle.
It's totally fine. So Lisa and my other colleague, Miss Riley, will go into a prison, and they'll attend a resource fair a lot of times. If you are housed in a prison inside of Ohio, then you get the resources in a geographical area that you'll be coming back to, along with some neighboring cities. Okay. And so when Lisa and Riley attends the resource fairs, the individuals from those surrounding cities come through and they collect information. When they, say for instance, we may have some individuals from Collier County visit our Citizen Circle table and just realize how much is available and here, and so they start asking questions. And then sometimes as soon as they get home, they'll stop through, and Lisa doesn't work for South Street Ministries, but Riley does, and they'll come in to South Street Ministries, and I seen her at the resource fair with Lisa and start asking questions and start getting acclimated with what's going on in our city, in our county, to better equip them with the releasing of the barriers that's preventing them from moving forward in their lives.
And the ODRC, the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation Corrections, they were aware that some of the counties within Ohio, the less populated, they didn't have the same type of resources and help as some of the more populated. So one of the things that they did in, what was that, 2022, 2023, something like that, was to try to put either a citizen circle or there's something called a coalition, a reentry coalition. It's all about helping that same population, whatever you want to call it. But try to get something in all 88 counties. And they were pretty successful. Some counties have both a coalition and a circle. Some have one or the other. We're fortunate in Summit to have both. But so it was really great to see that they were aware that, I'm sorry, if somebody lived in one of those counties that just didn't have it, but they still need the help, that ODRC was like, what can we do? And they did it also in the form of some funding, which helped for the expansion. So that was really wonderful.
And one thing another thing I like about the circle was so much divisiveness, politically out there. One of the things I do like, there's just no form that asks what political affiliation anybody is associated with, and it really does, as I mentioned, and both Shawn and Lisa mentioned, it's about the individual, and we all have different choices, different things, but when it comes down to the Citizen Circle, it's individuals helping individuals, it's humans helping human. I think of a doctor, somebody has a heart attack and they need to have emergency surgery. The doctor is going to say, oh, well, what do you list as your affiliation? And I think that's one thing that individuals, they may think, because depending on however if they view social media or things, they might go, oh, it's going to be one of these things, and if you're not on this side or that side. But that really just gets to how you're helping the person, and all the providers that come, they're there to help the person. And that is, I think, at the bare bones, the foundation of the Citizen Circle. And it's key for individuals watching, listening about this, that it's truly about the individual, and meeting, as Shawn mentioned, Lisa, meeting them where they're at. Some might be at step 4, some might be at step 2, some might be at 0. It's all about having that structure, but knowing enough that if this person falls into this category, this provider might not be able to help because they might not have organizations and companies that would employ based off of a background. And I think that's beautiful, because it doesn't come across in a, well, here's what you need to do, you're going to do this, and this. It's kind of like that in our minds, like what we want to cover, but it never comes out like that. And I think that's one of the great traits of both of you and everybody that attends.
I think one of the things that Shawn and I are most proud of, so the circle in and of itself does not provide any one service. It's all of the providers we have. And what we are so proud of, I like to just simplify and say, you know what, we all play nice on the playground. What you said about we are there for that individual. Most of the agencies are nonprofits, or, I'm actually with a government agency, but funding is this big thing. Everybody's competing for money, but when we come together for the circle, that all goes away, because the 3 or 4 places that provide job readiness, it's all about that individual, not, they don't have a price tag over their head because I can get more money if you come my way. That all is just non-existent within that citizen circle. And that's, I think, also why we are so successful. We are one of the citizen circles in the state of Ohio that other counties will come and look or see or talk to us for guidance. ODRC will say, hey, Summit's pretty successful. And we just kind of tell them what we do, how we do it, and we're here to help because we're all trying to help that same population.
And that's, I'll let you jump in. I just want to mention that is true. Sometimes we hear, oh yeah, nobody's being compensated for things, but it's a legit thing. I've never witnessed any organization, any provider try to be like, oh, well, unlike them, we do this, and and there's none of that. It's like actually the truth, which some might find incredible, but it really is. And I think as an individual coming into the circle, not having that too, that's one thing that could be a turnoff right away. Be like, all right, they're not telling me exactly what to do, but they're fighting over and what's going on, and I just can't handle that.
Yeah, and so just to piggyback off of Lisa, and we don't our agencies don't compete in any type of way, like she said. Some may be geographical, easier for others to access, or who knows who. But one thing it does is it allows us to remove or alleviate what we call absolutes. And that means that we don't, just because you're in this type of situation, we don't say you have to go here. We give individuals the liberty to create their own, we don't use reentry plan anymore, but redirection plan as to where they feel that they want to go. And then we assist them by empowering them to just make the first step. And step to that door. The first thing we say is, in the land of second chances, leave pride outside the door. Yes. Have no place in here, because folks do mess up. But as long as folks are accountable for whatever happened, and we can reach an avenue where we can move forward, then we graciously walk through those doors together.
I love that. And I was going to say another thing. The individuals, when they come to this circle, I know from just attending different conferences and different meetings, you come with a notebook, and the expectation is, I got to write everything down that's important, otherwise I'm going to miss it, or can you send me the slide deck? But that doesn't happen at the circle. One or more of the volunteers, that's what they do. They make the check marks next to the providers, and at the end, I guess during that time, the individuals are told, you don't need, if you want to write sometime you can, but everything's being handled. You're going to get a folder at the end with those resources, and then again to that empowerment, you can decide who you want to reach out to, who you don't want to, at your own time, and that, I think. It's something like we overlook that, but from an individual, they're just maybe thinking about like their story and the crimes, and to have every little barrier that can be removed, the better I think the opportunity is for them to be accepting, and maybe part of why people attend and come by the resource fair, the booth, and why they may want to, like you mentioned, Shawn, they may have lived in Cuyahoga County, but one way or another, the birdie's gotten in their ear about Summit County, and that's that's something that's huge. Even if it's just one person, even if it's just one person, that's one more person that's going to have at least the opportunity to really succeed with what we have available.
And we get, I'll get phone calls. It's word of mouth. Hey, my friend said they came to Citizen Circle, blah, blah, blah. To me, that is the absolute best form of, call it advertisement, if you will, is word of mouth, because that means somebody was satisfied, somebody, felt what was going on, or actually had some improvement. A lot of times, like I said, whether it's a tangible, a bus pass, a gas card, a this or that, we give them a lunch. Just getting something gives them like, wow, that first step in the right direction, and that word of mouth is fantastic. I love hearing that.
Yes, and one of our most important, we have a lot of moving parts on site on the second Thursday of the month, and one of our, I want to say most accepting positions is the position of the individual who does our surveys. The person who does our surveys gets to see in totality, because the individuals inside the circle, we're trying to stay on task and get individuals in, get individuals out, get them what they need. But the person who is doing the survey is spending a little extra time with this individual while they fill out their surveys, and they get to see the ultimate ending reactions, and then relay them back to us. And a lot of them, if you're not there in the moment, you won't know about the tears that's shared in the Dream Lab, the hugs that's shared in the Dream Lab, the back-smacking hugs and the handshakes that's shared in the Dream Labs. And that's when that regurgitation of these folks out here, somebody really do care about me. And I didn't, one of the questions that we always ask at the end is, did you expect all of this? And so that gives us a glimpse to see what's going to go on in the Dream Lab, And so even that is so rewarding, and that's one of our invisible paychecks.
And so you're talking about the end result, but I do want to take a minute, if it's okay, to talk about the very beginning.
Please.
We also have our intake. Dr. Joyce is our intake. Not a medical doctor. This woman is so caring. The participants come in, fill out a little bit of some paperwork to get it started, and then they meet with Joyce before they come into the circle. She kind of goes over their paperwork. Many times they just will open up to her, and she will not just say, well, you know what, your time's up, because they need you in the circle. So what we've learned to do, because they may actually be in a crisis at that moment, and she's not going to just pass them off. So what we've learned to do is just maybe take the next person to, because we are on a time frame, and we want to make sure we give time to everyone, to as needed. But she's absolutely fantastic she can get right to the root of people, and they will open up to her. So kudos to Joyce. We are so fortunate to have her as well as all of our other volunteers. Nobody's getting paid to do the circle. And we have, just Shawn said, a lot of moving parts. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't have time to name everybody by name, but please, if anybody's going to watch this, that is, part of our circle, Shawn and I, appreciate you as a provider and all of our providers that support it, and all of the help, the volunteers and that. We couldn't do it without the group that we have. And we're always expanding that group.
Yes. We're getting a little short on time, but what I want to make sure to get in is how individuals can learn about the circle. If, like you said, word of mouth, it could be word of seeing the show or listening to the show, and it may have a referral or an organization that has, say, whether it's tangible things like clothing or things. How can they find out about what they can do to help.
So if they want to come as a participant that needs help, or they want to come to volunteer, however, the best course of action would be to reach out to me. Am I allowed to give my contact?
You can.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect. So really the easiest way is to contact me. My name is Lisa Dolan. My contact number, 330-208-3829. I am actually the reentry specialist for the county. I work for the Department of Public Safety. I do the scheduling. If anybody wants to know really what is Citizen Circle, or can I get involved, can I just reach out to me. We do also attend many different events throughout the county. We also host a couple. We have our next twice a year we do a resource fair combined with a job fair. And our providers at the job fair are those that will hire Second Chance. So we have we're in the midst of planning our May 15th one that will be at the chapel in Akron. Again, the best way, you want any info, reach out to me. I'm most of the time on a day-to-day basis, I'm a little more easily accessible than Shawn is. We both wear a few different hats, but it's probably best to just get a hold of me, and I'll be happy to go take you from there.
Okay. Shawn, anything would you like to share, like a closing message, or how?
Yes, I would just like to say, God bless everyone who's watching this show. Don't let your past define what your future looks like. Don't give up on you. Let's do our affirmations in the mirror and just tell ourselves how much we love ourselves, and then put some action behind that to bring life to it.
Wow, that's powerful. Anything in addition to the contact that you'd like to share here in our closing?
Just know that we are here. We are a group of people. We're non-judgmental. Our sole purpose is to help someone become successful, whatever that their success means to them.
Yes.
And we're just here to support you. And you know what? If you're taking some steps and you're going forward and then you relapse, whether it's due to addiction or just life happens, it's okay. We're always going to be there. Come back to us when you're ready. We'll pick up either where we left off or start help you with a new game plan. We are just here along with yourself and the many other providers like yourself. We just care about people's success and going in a redirection.
Right. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Lisa.
you so much, Justin.
Thank you, Shawn.
Thank you, Justin.
And when we couldn't do this show without having an audience of interested individuals to watch and listen and even check out the transcript, if that's an easier way for you to consume the content. We are grateful to have had Shawn and Lisa, Shawn Bonner and Lisa Dolan from the Summit County Citizen Circle, among other hats that they wear, to come in studio and to just be transparent and talk about the work that is being done. And it's incredible work. And I've reached out to Lisa if you or somebody you know may want more information, or you may just want that overview of like, well, okay, what is it and what day is it this month, and what should I do? And Lisa will guide you along the way. So until next time, thank you again. Give us a big thumbs up, like, share, comment, follow. We thank you for being a part of Voices for Voices and what we're trying to do, and at a bigger level, trying to help the human being, that we can not love acts or actions that have been taken, but we can love individuals, and regardless of political sides, that we're just helping the common human individual. So until next time, I am founder, executive director of Voices for Voices, Justin Allen Hayes, and please be a voice for you or somebody in need.